What's up everybody, Demon back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing my review for the X-Plus Godzilla 2014. So I actually have the box for this one. He's a 30 centimeter figure. The back of the box is pretty empty, but in front of the box you got a nice picture of the Godzilla 2014 X-Plus. It's a pretty solid box. It's huge, if you couldn't tell. I don't know if I already said that or not, but it's fitting because it's a big figure. It's a big Godzilla too. One of the biggest of all time. So there you go. Now you can hardly hear me, but there's the box. It says it's the Diamond Edition on the back. I don't know what that means. I'm not a Godzilla figure reviewer, so I don't look into that stuff. Here he is. He is light. That's one thing that immediately strikes me. He's a light, stab my head right in the ear with the tail. Light figure though. Like the 54 that I just reviewed has weight to him. This guy's hollow. The reason they do that is because the tail will pop off. I don't really want to pop it off because I've never popped it off before, but I think it works like the piggy bank that I have, where you just, like, the piggy bank's head pops off, but I think you can just pop the tail right off. There you go, pop the tail off. I hope I can put it back on. But you can see the inside of the tail very hollowed out. This part of the tail, or not tail, but Godzilla, very hollowed out. I don't know why they do that. Probably for packaging convenience, but let's try and put them back together now. That's the challenge. Maybe I shouldn't have taken them apart. Give me a second, I'll get it. I'll get it. I sense I may have made a mistake. I'm getting close. No, I'm not. Never mind. This is horrible. This is horrible. Give me a second. I'm back. That was a painful journey that I just had to go on. Alright, I didn't even get to start reviewing this figure, did I? Okay, let's get into it. Beautiful sculpt. I mean, seriously, fantastic detail. There's so much depth to every inch of this figure's design. It just, oh, it's so, especially right here you can see the real detail put into it. And I really like the front view of this figure. Actually, the face of the front view looks goofy. His head is too large. It's too wide. But the mouth looks great. The teeth are all individually sculpted. They're all great. The tongue's fantastic. It's a gorgeous figure overall. We'll talk about the paint here in a minute, but everything is great about this figure. I really like how long the tail is. You can work your way down the tail. That's one issue I have with the paint. You have this really nice even paint throughout the full tail, and then just this goofy little dark bit on the end. So you really got to display this guy from certain angles to hide that fact, like have him in the display like this angle or something so that you can't see it. I don't know. Regardless, I'm not going to display him head on because his head looks flat, like stretched, and I don't like it. But everything else is fantastic. The eyes are great. I don't know how well you can see. You can't really see them that well, but the paint on the eyes is fantastic. And really the paint overall on this figure is great. It looks very, very screen accurate to Godzilla from the 2014 movie. You have the lighter tones in the chest area moving up through the neck, and you can get some of that on the face too. But on the back, you have the very dark charcoal, not really charcoal gray, you know, it's a little darker than the 54 Godzilla. You can really see that when you put the two figures side by side, but it also happens when you put the two suits side by side. I guess this one's not really a suit, but when you put the two Godzilla incarnations side by side, you can see that same difference. But the dorsal fins are one thing that I want to highlight, because I don't know how well you can see this, but they are amazing. Just the level of depth in this sculpt is so cool. You can literally see the patterns in the dorsal fins that will eventually light up when the atomic breath activates. It's absolutely fantastic. I really did fall in love with this figure, even just from seeing it in pictures. Like I said, though, the front-on view of the face does look a little goofy. I guess he actually looks kind of good from far back, but when you're close up, I don't know how well you guys can see it. I don't want to like bump my mic here, but I don't know how well you guys can see it. Let me lean way back, see if that helps. I don't know how to describe it. His face just looks stretched. That's the only way I can describe it. Either way, it's still really cool. Also, you got the very good details here on the neck with the gills that everyone hated, but I think they're cool. Nice elephant feet sculpts here. Very movie accurate. Really, overall, everything about this is movie accurate other than the little stretchy face. I don't know, he doesn't look fat like he did in the movie. He also doesn't look too slimmed down like that new figure coming out from Tanaka Studios, which I'm really gonna have to start getting into those Tanaka Studios sculpts. I know they're crazy expensive. They're like the price of two of these guys, but they're worth it. They're like the sculpt of two of these guys in one. They're way better than the X-Plus, in my opinion. And I know that's funny, I'm saying, oh, I just started collecting X-Plus and I want to start getting X-Plus figures, and then here I am immediately turning around saying, nah, the Tanaka Studios are better. Like, it's one of those, you know. I want X-Plus, they're cool, but Tanaka Studios is better. Just need more money for them. The paint overall on the mouth too, it really it highlights the earthy nature of this Godzilla. Nothing's cartoonishly like pink like it would be. You know, you'd think, oh, they're gonna make the tongue very pink or whatever, and then same thing with the membrane on his mouth that kind of keeps his jaw together, but they don't. It's a very laid back design or paint. Nothing stands out as being cartoonishly bright. And same thing with the eyes. The eyes are yellow, but they don't stand out as being cartoonishly yellow. Some areas where I take issue with this sculpt would be, there's a ring around the head. I'm not sure how visible it is, but it's there. There's a ring around the head, a ring around the dorsal fins where they were plastered on, and then of course you have this noticeable gap here on the tail that you just can't do anything about that. I do take issue with it, but it's ultimately not a deal breaker, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have bought this. He also doesn't have the same weight as I wish he did. You know, you have that 54 Godzilla, I'll go grab him in a second. He has a certain weight to him that this guy just doesn't have, and it makes this guy feel a little cheaper, although he was the more expensive of the two. So here they are for a side-by-side. This guy's 30 centimeters, meaning this guy has to be less. When you put them side by side, you can see that the 2014 Godzilla is slightly bigger, which he should be. He should be bigger because he's the bigger one in the movies. You can even see in lengthwise if the tails were supposed to be stretched out, which Godzilla would be bigger. It's obviously this one. But I think one thing that stands out is that this Godzilla has a little bit more going on with the paint than this Godzilla. This Godzilla sure has a little bit more going on up front and on the bottom, but overall, on the back, this Godzilla stands out as having a more neat design throughout the whole thing. Throughout the whole figure, he's got much more well-applied paint than this Godzilla, who's just one base tone. And I know it is because this one's more movie accurate in the fact that in the movie he is one base tone. But I think if you're gonna make a figure, you might as well make it pop, right? Don't make it like outlandishly colorful. Just make it realistic to where it was in the movie, but also stand out, just like what they did here. He doesn't have those brown tones in the movie, it's black and white, but they make him stand out nonetheless. I think something like that could have really benefited a figure like this. I guess we'll have to do another comparison when I eventually, however long down the line, do get the Tanaka Studios version of the 2014 Godzilla, because I want it. It's probably going to be around the same height, right? 30 centimeters seems like a good height for a figure like this. Would I recommend getting either of these two? I should have done the recommendation for this guy in the last video, but, you know, I'm not a thinker. Yeah, I definitely would recommend getting this figure, especially if you're a hardcore Godzilla fan. You have to have the 54 Godzilla. You have to. If you're a fan of X-Plus, definitely also. But the problem is the price. There's other solutions. For this exact price, you can get, like, two of the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1954s, which are arguably better in the fact that they are, well, they're smaller and they don't really have as much display ability, but the sculpt is almost identical on both of them. This one does have a better paint job than the 54 SH Monster Arts sculpt. This guy doesn't have any articulation though. You can't do anything with him other than display him. With that one, at least you can pose him. As for Godzilla 2014, I wouldn't recommend this unless you're a big fan of Godzilla 2014. You don't have to go spend that, you don't have to go spend the $150 on either of them. But I wouldn't recommend spending the $150 on the Godzilla 2014 unless you are a really big fan of that movie. I loved the 2014 Godzilla, and that's why I bought this figure. But if you're not a huge fan of the movie, or you're not a huge fan of the sculpt, you can pass up on this. It's you lose nothing. You actually only gain $150 from it. But I don't know. I wanted both of them. They also had, at that same store, they had a Kiryu with the back piece. Not the blue back piece. It was Kiryu from Tokyo SOS, who has the more silver back piece that doesn't stand out as well. Then they also had Kiryu without the back piece, which was from Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla. They had a Godzilla, or a Mechagodzilla 1993. Not a big fan of that sculpt, but I was a big fan of the figure because it was huge. They had a GMK Godzilla, which I really debated getting over the 2014 Godzilla, but I figured 2014 Godzilla is a little bit more symbolic for me, in the fact that GMK, although I think the design is better than the 2014 design, and I think the figure was probably better than this 2014 figure, the 2014 Godzilla is more important to me on the level that there was a period in time when, although I was a huge Godzilla fan, I didn't really care. You know, I was interested in other things. Godzilla was a background hobby of mine. It was like I'd watch the movies every year or so, but like I do a Godzilla-thon every school year, but it wasn't like one of the driving things in my life where, you know, Godzilla was the big thing where everything I did was Godzilla. I didn't have the posters hung up. You know, I didn't have any of that. Actually, I did have these two posters hung up, so that's a bit of a lie. Maybe I should put my finger here. These two posters, I had those two hung up, but I wasn't big into Godzilla like I am now, and like I was when I was a little kid. Godzilla 2014 came out and it really revitalized my love for Godzilla. It actually is what made me say, you know what, I've been making Godzilla videos on this channel, which was my original D-Man Gaming channel. I was like, I'm making Godzilla videos on it, but what if I separate? You know, what if because I don't want to bog down my gaming videos with some lame Godzilla videos. What if I make my own channel just for Godzilla videos, and I can have two separate channels? That way the gaming channel can stop having Godzilla content posted on it, which it was posted very infrequently, and it wasn't really anything at all. In fact, most of those videos don't even exist today. They went back years and years, just me basically playing with toys and random stuff like that, but I deleted all those. I was like, what if I make my own channel, a new channel, D-Man 1954, right? And that was all because of 2014. I was like, I really want to talk about Godzilla again. And look where it got me. Really, I always put my success of this channel on Shin Godzilla, and that's rightfully so, because Shin Godzilla is really what made this channel popular, but I owe it all to 2014's Godzilla, because without 2014's Godzilla, I wouldn't have wanted to make this channel. I would have just sat back, continued to make Godzilla toy videos every once in 1,000 years on that gaming channel, and I probably wouldn't be doing anything related to YouTube today. I'd probably be working at McDonald's, in all honesty. So actually, I'd probably be at prom right now if it wasn't for Godzilla 2014. I would have gone to prom, and I would have maybe had a good time. I don't know. But instead, I'm here reviewing a 2014 Godzilla figure. Shows you where my priorities lie, doesn't it? It's a great figure. Look at the arms. I just like keep finding cool things about it. Look at the arms. Chest, super well sculpted, the chest, but the arms as well. You got the crazy good detail with all the individual scales sculpted onto it. Fantastic. I really don't know where I'm going to put them. I'm thinking up on this shelf behind me, but I don't want to get rid of these pictures, which you guys can't see. These pictures, I don't want to get rid of them. I don't know where to, obviously I'm not going to get rid of them, but I don't know where to move them to. I got some Walking Dead cups right here, and Walking Dead figures right here, and a little bit behind here. So I don't know if I should move those and put the X-Plus figures up I really don't know. Also, got the G-Fan magazine Godzilla celebration. They're like 50th, I don't know, was it 30th anniversary or something like that? I don't actually remember, but got the poster up there because I got the magazine behind me. Okay, that's enough random rambling. I feel like a lot of the times these toy videos do turn into update videos, don't they? Either way, I'm D-Man1954, and this is my channel mascot, Godzilla 1954, so that's another reason why I should have bought this guy, and why I'm glad I did. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys next time. I'm not going to do these toy videos very often because there's just, I don't buy enough figures and whatever. I do unboxings and you know, reviews for everything that's worth it, but everything that's not like the Pacific Rim stuff, I just didn't talk about it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed. D-Man out.